Hey, hi, hello there. Welcome to my poorly lit face because I'm using my webcam to actually do this so you guys can see. Welcome to a rune reading for Amberlynn Reid. This is a new set that you guys haven't seen before. I'm testing out all of my sets to see which one I like best. So far, this one's done the best. I will say I've tried to finagle with the settings of the webcam to get the image as sharp as possible. This is literally the sharpest I can get it right now. I apologize because I don't think it's up to snuff, but it is what it is. The main question I want to focus on right now is I want to know what's going on with this new Amberlynn Reid that we're inventing. This Amberlynn that does all this stuff. I don't really care about the breakup anymore. I might do a quick... Well, let's do a quick one for that because that one I don't really give too much of a crap about. So let's cast that one fast and then I'll reset for the actual question I want to ask. So, all right. I know we're all dying to know. What's going on with the breakup and is there someone in the near future? The near future being like the next 3 months or so. It's better if you set like parameters for these things. It's kind of like talking to people. Like if you ask them an ambiguous question, they're going to give you an ambiguous answer. The more detailed you can be about it, the better. All right. Real quick, the breakup and is someone new coming in the next 3 months or so? Dude, that's the second time I've had things bail. There you are. So this set, I know it's hard to see. I apologize. This is one of my oldest sets. It's actually one of the best sets that's showing up. I'm sorry. The set that showed up the best, the stones aren't right. That's interesting that that's the one that ran away. I'll show you guys that in a minute. But this one I like because, like, for me, the reversed runes are the upside down runes are upside down, and the rest of them are quite easily noticeable. Oh. I guess to touch you up. Who are you? Makes me sad. This is probably the oldest set I own right now, as you can see. My best friend in the whole world made these for me, God, forever ago, for my birthday one year. And I have used them clearly to the point where they are falling apart. So, thank you. I love this set. It's breaking my heart that they're all coming apart like this. It's so sad. Anyway, let's get into this because I said it'd be a quick reading. So, let's see. What have we got here? On the upside, I can fix everything as we go. So, we've got over here, we got an interesting, let's see. Her handwriting for these runes are so good, too. Fortunately, this is a metallic pen, so it's pretty sticky. All right. We've got Gibbo here. We've got Peroth. We've got Nathu's. Interesting collection. We've got Hegel all the way over here. We got Fiu all the way over here. We've got Ansu's all the way over here. Degas Tirjira. I just kind of want to get that wrinkle out just so it's easier to see. Here. I'm going to get these as we go. And I want to accidentally. Yeah. Other than that, we don't really have a whole lot going on here. So we've got Fiu, we've got Ansu's pointing towards the center. Our center is actually, like, the dead center is pretty empty and everything's kind of revolving around this dead center. So that's kind of... And remember, the dead center of this is always... The dead center of this is always amber. Amber is the center. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I need to make sure my audio is still good. Just keep in mind that this is always amber. So the closer to the center it is, the more likely it's amber. The further away, the more likely it's something outside. Those are the rules. Okay. You can set up your own rules. These are the rules we're playing with. All right. So we've got Zawalo and we've got Ingaz over here together, and they're kind of real closely tight. The problem is I don't like my audio. Really closely tight together here, in a pair. Zawalo is kind of like a warning of taking a journey without any kind of planning for it, or saying that a well-planned journey is going to go well. That can also like go along with any kind of like plans or anything. Basically, like journey metaphorically, like my weight loss journey. It's not an actual journey. I'm not actually on foot walking to a thinner meat. I could, but that's not the point. But it is kind of like a weight loss journey where if I don't have a good plan, I'm not going to lose any weight, basically. Ingus is kind of like going out ahead of everyone else, blazing your own trail. Ing actually is a god himself who is closely related to like prosperity and abundance and other things that go along with that. Usually I don't think we're talking about that though. So if I had to say, I think they're moving, and I think that's what this is really kind of showing me, is that the two of them are moving. It's two separate runes. I think this is talking about the two of them individually are moving. One of them's kind of going it alone. I'm guessing that's Jade. And then Amber is planning. Amber likes to plan. Amber doesn't like to execute, but Amber likes to plan. She's a planner. So I think that's what we're seeing here. And I think that's why this is closer to the center. I think Amber's still planning. She wants that smooth sailing, but she's still in the planning stages of it. The fact that it is this one, though, might mean that whatever plan she's coming up with is going to pull off. And I know I've seen that before in some of the other readings I've done for her, that like the move is going to go well for her. And this, I think this is clearly Jade is going off on her own, and she's separating. She will be separate. She's intentionally leaving this behind. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so because I want this to be quick, I don't really want to spend too much time here. We've got Gibbo, we've got Parath, and we've got Nathus. Nathus is a warning about need. It's about ignoring, basically, warning signs and that kind of stuff. I don't want this to dry out. So, and then we've got Parath over here, and we've got Gabo. Gabo, some people translate it as being like partnership. It's not actually partnerships in my head, because I go off of the rune poem, and it's really talking about gifting and receiving, like the act of giving and expecting something back, or giving and not expecting something back. That's not necessarily a relationship. You can give to people you don't have any relationship with, and you can either be an altruistic giver, or you can be someone who weaponizes that. I mean, for lack of a better term. So, and then we've got Proth here, and Proth I translate to be a collection of like authorities, sages, smart people, people of capabilities. One interpretation of this particular rune poem verse. One particular interpretation of this rune's verse in the rune poem can be where the warriors sit in the hall and play games, but it can also be where the midwives sit in the birthing hall. And so it can be a rune of, well, either way, warriors and midwives both are groups of people who are highly skilled, one would say. So when I look at this, I'm looking at people who are a highly skilled set of peers. So, because they're all together. It's not like the midwives and the trainee. It's like the peers are all sitting together, like a room full of doctors. That kind of a thing. Because it's a birthing hall, birthing halls are obviously like the symbolism of birth, of renewal, of, starting something. If we go with the warrior kind of imagery, we're going with the idea of like a resting place, a place of, it's a mead hall, so a place of jovialness, relaxation, letting off steam. Again, with a group of peers, you're surrounded by people who understand what you're going through, kind of a thing. So that's kind of where I'm at here. I usually interpret this to be people of knowledge and authority, not necessarily you. Okay, you get me? I hope that wasn't terribly confusing. So let me chew on that one for a minute. We've got Dagaz over here. We've got Tiwaz. We've got Jira. They're all kind of leading away from the center, kind of almost in like a nice little spiral here. And the nice thing about this is that we've got Dagaz's divine messages and like new beginnings. It's leading away. We've got Tyr. This refers to the god Tyr, but because the name Tyr is the same. However, the verse for this is a guiding star, and there's this idea that the North Star, or the guiding star at the time, was called Tyr. And so this is a guiding star. This is if you follow this path, you're guaranteed to get where you're going, kind of a thing. And then we've got Jira over here, which is basically you reap what you sow, kind of a thing. And so we've got this new beginning, this divine message of a new beginning. We've got a literal divine guidance, and then we've got reaping what you sow. Usually this has a positive connotation. And with this set of runes, actually, it's pretty good. So I'm thinking like, there's not necessarily anything about like journeying here, but it does kind of like whatever path she's on, it looks like it's going to turn out. It looks like it's going to turn out okay. So, and because I specifically asked about the breakup, let me think about that one again. So this is a good indicator, actually. Like, to me, this is showing that there's not a lot of trouble going on here. Someone's following their path. Someone's following their true path, and they're going to get where they need to be, is what this is telling me. We've got Hegel over here, which is just an indicator that there could be some catastrophic events coming in. And not could, but I mean, it's face up. But I mean, everybody seems to be pretty sheltered except this one. So maybe we're seeing that this isn't going to work out. So, because I'm almost positive this is Jade. So this is maybe not going to work out so well for Jade, but Jade's cutting herself off. So maybe that's the thing. This may just be because Jade's cutting herself off. It could be symbolizing like a very sudden but definite change. And Hegel has the end of it being kind of like a hopeful renewal kind of a thing. Like the ice melts and nourishes the ground kind of a thing. So that could be it. Like this blazing her own path. It's going to be rough, but in the end, it's going to work out really well for her. I think that's where this is going. We've got Ansu's over here lining up with Nathu's, and we've got Fiu over here lining up with Gibbo. This is not actually either of these very uncommon pairings in my mind, because Fiu also has several different meanings, one of which being charity. Again, giving, but again, it can be giving in the idea, it could be charity in the idea of I am actually altruistic and I actually want you to do well. You know, I want to help, as also I'm doing this to win brownie points kind of a thing. So since this is lining up with this, I'm guessing that there's some kind of like financial gift that's coming in. And again, it's very close to the center. So we're talking about Amber at this point. So Amber's getting some kind of financial bolstering here. There could be a connection here, but I'm not feeling it right this second. So, and then we've got Ansu's over here kind of pointing down. So this is definitely showing me that whatever this is, this technically means ossuary or mouth. A lot of people associate it directly with Odin because Odin is supposed to be the god of inspiration, but it's basically inspirational, creative speech, usually. It can be interpreted how you need it to, but the hard definition there is that. And so there's some kind of creative text or something going on. She's being inspired by something, or something inspirational has been given to her, which is showing a need that she has. Like there's something missing, but she's been informed of what it is and may even have been given a creative solution to the problem. Whether she listens or not, this is just telling you that there's an issue coming up. You've been warned. If you listen to the warning, everything will turn out fine. If you don't, it could be bad. Okay, that's what this is telling us. We're coming back around here because these are closely aligned with this. I'm guessing. Now remember, this is about the breakup. So try not to associate this with things outside of that topic. But she's either found a group of peers to talk to about this breakup, or at least people she's perceiving as her peers to talk about this breakup with. And these people are fulfilling some kind of need in a give and take kind of way. It could be maybe she's found friends. This is not... I'm not willing to say this is like a partnership, like a girlfriend situation. I'm just not willing to say that. This can, if some of these other runes weren't associated, or if I saw some different runes also over here, maybe, because this can sometimes symbolize a partnership. But I'm not seeing it. I don't see it there because of this one too much, honestly. But this is kind of camaraderie. So it's possible that she's finding some kind of friend group, or maybe she wasn't lying about going to the bar. I don't believe it, but whatever. So she's got some kind of like friend group forming here, and they're filling some kind of need that she's got. So is she buying the friends? I don't know, but she's forming a friend group. That could be a good indicator here of what's going on here. Hagel's just over here chilling. Well, I asked for a quick and dirty, and I got a quick and dirty. Okay. Now to the question I actually want to ask. Now that everybody's been repaired. Sorry. I love this set so much, I refuse to give it up. All right, so what I want to know is what's going on with this New-Lynn character. Like, where is this New-Lynn character? Why are we metamorphosizing here? Why is Amber trying to reinvent herself? Oh, unfortunately, that's that way. What have we got here? Well, we don't have a whole lot to say here, do we? Huh, that pops up again. And you didn't bail this time. Alright. Alright, well... not giving me a whole lot here to work with. We've got the self over here, all by its lonesome. We've got this. Amber's got a plan. Amber's got a plan. That's all I can come up with here. Amber's got a plan. It's something she's come up with. It's a creative plan. Will it work out? I don't know. But she's got a plan, and that's probably this reinvention of herself. This is part of the plan, I think. We've got Nathu's over here. Yeah, she's okay. Well, all right then. I sound like an idiot when I'm doing these, I know. Yeah, Amber is reinventing herself hardcore. She's coming on strong with this. Both of these would be that way. She's reinventing herself from the inside out, using her own ideas. And that doesn't mean like she's not mimicking people, because she clearly is, but like she's internalizing that, and this is her doing. No one's suggesting to her that she should be doing these things. This is what she thinks. She's using her own inner self to do this, to propel this forward, and she's very strong and very certain about this change she's going through. And this is her plan. This is part of her plan that she's come up with. This is she's put some thought into this. Honestly, I'm not too surprised. Really not too surprised, honestly. We've got Othel over here all by its lonesome again. I think this is coming along with Hurley, especially off of the last reading I did. I think this is coming along with like she's planning to morph completely after she moves. So she's like putting the start of this in. We've got Thuraz over here, just kind of chilling. I need to come back to you. Got Jira over here. It's kind of lined up with Manas. Manas is other people, and how other people affect your life, basically. Finding the joy of the people around you, but it can also mean like you need to enjoy the people you're with because it's fleeting. These people can leave at any moment, you know? So we've got it all hanging out by itself. It's completely surrounded except for Jira and Nathu's over here. But there's such a large gap. We've got this combo again. There's more of a gap here, but we've got this combo again. So I'm wondering, again, I'm not seeing a relationship exactly as much as I'm seeing like potential friends. So maybe she's got a friend group. Remember now, though, Amber has parasocial relationships with people, which means she can perceive a friendship where there isn't necessarily one. So it could be this peer group that she envisions that she's part of. You guys really can't see these. I promise you I will get a better set. Because this is Parath again. With Gibbo over here. In here. But there's a gap this time. They're not touching. So I think that there's a peer group that Amber thinks she belongs to. And we know that she associates with various different groups that she's not necessarily real world part of, but she perceives herself as being part of it. And I think, but then we've got this guy over here. So it's maybe she's like, excuse me, maybe she's trying to like gift her way. She's like trying to buy the stairway to heaven, not necessarily with cash. Gifts can be anything. It can even be gifts of the set, like literal yourself. So I think she's got a plan. I think she's trying to get in with a group that she thinks is already a peer group for her. Yeah. And then there's you. Just chilling. I don't know. It's kind of blocked off from almost everybody. And that's the only real line of connection. And it's so far away. But yeah, this is part of her plan. This is her plan, is to get in with this group. And I think she's trying to like gift her way into the group. She's trying to buy her way into the group. But again, not necessarily with like money necessarily. Because we know that Amber's gifting is toxic. So if Amber's giving gifts, she's expecting something in return. Okay? But that's part of the plan. In her head. I'm not saying this is going to work out. I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing here. All right. We've got Nathu's over here just kind of chilling. It lines up with this this hardcore reinvention of the self. She's really got an image of herself that she's working very hard to internalize, is what I'm trying to say here. She thinks that this is a stronger, a better version of herself, and she's putting it forward. This always symbolizes some kind of need or warning that is you've been warned about. All right. So you can either heed the warning or you don't. All right. It's just kind of off to the side here. So this would be, sorry, I'm eyeballing the center. Yeah. All right. We've got Manas over here. We've got Jira over here. This is a reap what you sow kind of a rune. Usually it has a positive connotation, but in some situations, well, I mean, it's reap what you sow. If you sow good things, you're going to reap good things. If you sow bad things, you're going to sow bad things. If you sow mediocre things, you're going to get mediocre things, you know? So it's that kind of a thing. It's in alignment with Manas. So This is other people. This is reaping what you sow. I think, like down here, I think she sees a group of people that she wants to be part of, or maybe this is the group of people she's already with. Because if we use this if we interpret this as being like the fleeting moments of people in your life, you know, being aware that people will leave your life eventually. I mean, that's the whole point. Like, man is a mirth of among his kin until the Norns deem his time is over, basically. Implying that, you know, enjoy the people in your life while they're there. But it's so isolated. And then we've got Nathus over here. I think there's a group of people that she's ignoring. And I think that's what this is indicating because it's so far over here. So I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Because again, there's large gaps here. They're not exactly connected to anything, but they are kind of linearly connected. But you can make a line out of any 2 points. But it just seems to make sense. I think there's a group of people that she's been neglecting. They've made it clear that she's been neglecting them. Or maybe even they're people that she's been fucking with. People that she's been wronging or pushing. Not wronging necessarily, but like pushing away. People who would maybe want to be part of her life is what I'm saying. Because I know where people are going to go with that. I don't think this is the former exes, because this isn't an enemy. This isn't a rune of enemies. This isn't a rune of strife. Okay, so but it doesn't make sense otherwise to me. If someone else has a different interpretation, feel free. But to me, it looks like there's a group of people she's ignoring. They've stated that they feel neglected. She's neglecting them because she doesn't think they fit in with this new identity of hers, and she's going to reap what she's going to get what she's going to get out of it. This is going to end up being she's going to see the results, I think, sooner than later, because fall is coming up. That is the harvest season. August 1st is the start of the harvest season, so I think that's kind of significant there. So I don't know where this is going to end up going. I don't know where that's going to end up going, to be perfectly honest. And we've got Othel over here. We got Thurzaz over here. Thurzaz is pain. It's where Nathus is like something bad is going to happen if you don't listen to me. Thurzaz is the thorns on a rose. You know, it's stinging nettles. I think it directly correlates with a stinging nettle, at least as the westernized, this side of the world understands stinging plants. But the whole concept of this one is if you grab hold of this particular plant, it will sting you. It will cut into you and it will sting for a long amount of time after you've let go of it. The idea there being don't grab things with your bare hands because it's a painful experience. You know, don't whiz on the electric fence kind of a thing. So that's the difference between both of these. They're both warnings. This one is any kind of need. Yeah, you're running out of toilet paper, kind of a thing. That's very trivial, but you know, this is gonna hurt. If you're not careful and you don't do it right, this is gonna hurt a lot, and it's gonna hurt for a while. So, but it's all the way over here by its lonesome. Like there's really actually nothing really connected to it. There's this long distance thing going on here, but it's so long distance. I don't feel comfortable really connecting the two of them. Feel free. But I think maybe there's a flaw in her plan. Maybe there's a flaw in her plan over here that if she's not careful is really going to come back to bite her in the ass, and it's going to suck in a bad way. Amber's weathered a lot of bullshit, though, so maybe she doesn't even register it, and who knows how actually bad it'll be for her. She bounces back pretty easily. I have faith that she will weather the storm. We've got Othel over here. Earlier in the reading that I did for the couples, that thing, like, yeeted itself off the table, so I think this is just another indicator that all of her past, especially with Kentucky, because that's where she's at home right now. I think she's done with it. I think she's completely done with it. And that's what this is indicating. And that might be what this is indicating too. Like, this is painful. This has been painful for her. And so she's like, I'm out. But it is pointing towards everything. So again, a warning. Yeah. All right. So just to recap, because there's really, I know I've been stumbling over this, but there really isn't a whole lot here. Amber's got a plan. She's got a very creative plan, or at least she thinks it's a very creative plan. She's trying to get in with a group of people that she's not currently a member of, but she perceives herself as being equal to. And she's trying to get in there. And it could be, this doesn't have to be bad. I mean, it could be like she starts volunteering for the group. She starts, providing them with something that they need, kind of a thing. She makes herself useful to the group somehow. It could be what it means. It could also mean with Amber, more likely that she's like trying to buy her way in. That's how I would interpret it, just because of what I know about Amber. But I mean, if I were to just blindly look at that, it could be like altruisticness, like, oh, I want to be part of your group, and I see that you need people to volunteer at like the grocery store on Saturdays to ring a bell, I'll go ring that bell on Saturdays for you. That kind of a thing. But it's a group of people she already identifies with. All right. Yeah, she thinks this new version of herself is a better version of herself, and she's pulling on her inner energy, her inner self, her not inner self necessarily, her inner key, her inner power. Everybody's got one, but she's reinventing herself from the inside out. She's not using outside influence, not necessarily influence. She's not using outside resources to reinvent herself. She's doing it all, or she's trying to do it all through her own self. And I think this reinventing is causing a conflict somewhere with people who are already part of her life. And it's not necessarily a positive conflict, but it's also something that they've brought up to her, that she's been made aware of. And it's going to come to a head. This arc is going to end. And it's going to end however she goes into it, basically. Again, you go into it negatively, it comes out negatively. You go into it positively, it comes out positively. We usually want a positive outcome. So we usually read this positively, but this alignment here. Yeah. I think that's everybody. That wasn't a whole lot. I was expecting more. But, all right, we've been at this almost 40 minutes with some trimming. This should be down to like, 30, 35 minutes. Well, let me know what you guys think. I know my rune sets haven't been working out real well as far as showing up on camera. So hopefully next time I see you guys, I will have a set made just for this. I'm thinking something dark colored with the runes in a brighter color for the contrast. Maybe I can get some dark pieces of wood. Yeah, I prefer like natural. I prefer like stone or wood or glass. I don't particularly want I could make it out of clay, but I don't necessarily want to. It doesn't feel right. And by clay, I mean like the resin epoxy clay kind of stuff. But air dry clay. I could make it out of air dry clay. I feel like they'd be way too light though. So, yeah. All right, so that's my interpretation up to this point. Let me know what you guys think. I'm still working on the proper set for this. We'll get there, I promise. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think. I don't think we need to put an emoji down or anything. It's just, this is a rune reading. Happy to hear if you have a different interpretation. I know there's a couple of you out there that are familiar with these, and I'm always here for a peer discussion, for a peer-to-peer discussion. Just be respectful. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.